There comes a time when the expected heroes that could save the world fail at that task, and you must search the corners of the earth for a squad of uniquely qualified individuals whose skills separated perhaps seem to have no power at all. But the three of them, like a very simple jigsaw puzzle for a simple child, fit together perfectly. The varied skills and abilities of an alcoholic widower. The single licensed character that made it to this episode of a Squidward and an apathetic swamp thing of high school age. This is TABLEPOPALYPSE.
Hard to say.
Gang, I want everyone to picture it's nighttime where we got this aerial shot of what appears to be an ominous-looking government facility. From the side of the frame, from the edge of the frame, we hear the thump, 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 thump of a helicopter coming in to the frame, and it's like swerves downward. It's going in for a landing. We cut to the ground, the helipad. The helicopter lands. The area, the helipad is lit by floodlights. The whole thing's giving this ominous, foreboding tone. We see staircases lower. At the bottom of them, it's flanked by two soldiers who immediately salute as a suited man steps down. He's a very regal or important looking man, salt and pepper hair, square jaw. He's got a little American flag pin on his lapel.
Oh, patriot.
He's a this is
A hero.
This is President Phil Halibut. And behind him, scurrying with a big stack of files, is like, "Sir, what if this doesn't work?" As they walk, what if he says no? And the President Phil Halibut shakes his head and was like,
"Mayor of the United States."
the president shakes his head and he's like, "Well, then even God can't help us." So we cut to an elevator going down a shaft, and we get the John Williams score that Trevor's going to edit in by the time this airs. We got it specially made. Really excited for you all to hear it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. National treasure, John Williams.
Thanks, John.
We get our opening credits. Carolyn Page, Eli Uden, Nathan Yaffe as Squidward.
And introducing.
We go down a long hallway, once again following the president and his advisor. It's clearly we're passing very heavily barred doors, clearly like prison cells. You can hear the faint screams of "Let me in! I'll kill all of you!" As you kind of pass by each of them. They reach a door. The president takes a moment, takes a breath. A heavy key unlocks. We see the other side from within the cell. We see a handle turn and a heavy creak as the door opens. The president stands very solemnly and says, "Charles, it's been a long time."
Hello there, Philly boy.
So where do we...
hasn't seen this. The eyebrows will get you every time.
I'm aware of Charles Mothers. At this point, Charles Mothers is a legend in the College Humor office. So even though I haven't seen the episode,
So, Charles Mothers, you're in this very bare cell. Basically just, there's no windows, there's no lights, there's just a bench. Where do we find, what's our first shot of Charles Mothers?
Just sitting in a chair, staring directly at the door. Hello there, Philly boy. You're looking well.
Don't call me that. It's Mr. President.
Whatever you say.
You know I don't want to be here.
That makes two of us.
The worst has happened, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't need to be, but you're the only one I know to go to. He says a word that you and him are probably the only, like, one of probably 12 people in the entire world who know what this word means. And he takes a moment and, like, he really gives it the gravitas that the moment deserves. It's like, TABLEPOPALYPSE.
Oh my God.
You're aware that this means...
Oh, Martha, this is bad news.
Explains that TablePopalypse has been initiated, and the entire multiverse has someone has basically let loose demons throughout the entire pockets of the multiverse. Entire realities have been overrun by demons, and I know this is a lot to ask, but I need you to go and collect the 3 demon runes. Find who did this and stop them.
Philly boy. Silly, silly, silly boy. Charles Mothers has killed scores of Nazis, plenty of cops, a woman or two. But this TABLEPOPALYPSE might even be too much for me to handle on my own. I'm going to need some help.
Charles, there's no time. This is
I'll find time. Shut your mouth, you
have
damn
this-
whippersnapper.
You somehow have this, like, dossier, a file folder, despite no one giving this to you. The president takes it from you, flips through it, and, like, there's no time for you to be gallivanting through the multiverse looking for a teenage swamp thing and Squidward tentacles from SpongeBob SquarePants.
You shut up and calm down. This is the only way, and these are the only two. I'll find them, and we'll kill those demons for you, Philly boy. We'll kill them dead.
If you're wrong, you know this is the end of everything, right?
Oh, sweet Martha, I know.
He steps close to you and whispers something in your ear that we can't hear. He steps backward and goes, all right. And he steps out of the cell, leaving the door open. It's good to see you again, Dad.
You too, son. You too.
We cut to a laboratory.
That's right. There's intense tabletop lore in this episode.
Phil Halbert took his wife's name when married.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's a very progressive. Yeah.
So we cut to this underground lab. There's a couple of scientists in white coats sitting around computer terminals, powering this large, like, portal, like Stargate-looking motherfucking contraption. Charles Mothers, you step down into the facility. There's like a balcony covered in glass, or like a glass room overlooking this chamber. You are in high-powered futuristic armor and a helmet, and you're handed essentially 2 like briefcases of, all right, you'll need to give these to your contacts when you reach them. That'll equip them with the same advanced armor that you've been given. It's not going to keep you. It's not going to make you invincible, but it should keep you safe for a while.
All right, enough with the instructions. I've got some multi-traversing to do.
Okay. So the scientist, like, looks over, like, very gravely and is like, look, find your contacts and then kill the 3 key demonic entities.
Got it.
Get the rune stones. Stop the tablepopalypse.
Rune stones, then we'll get some poon stones, if you know what I mean.
Nice.
Score.
One of the scientists behind a terminal is hearing this and just goes, "We're doomed."
You can see that on the back of my power armor, I've like written in like something. It says, "I miss my wife."
Written in something.
Something.
How sober is Charles? Also, we need to know
At
that.
any time, not at all.
He like climbs into the portal, like like takes a flask out from somewhere, like untwists it, just fucking pounds it, tosses it out, and
So like, see you later, fucks.
Charles Mothers, the portal powers on, letting this like red ethereal like light burst out of the Stargate looking thing. Charles Mothers steps in, and I want to smash cut to.
Which one of us is it going? Okay.
I want to smash cut to a high school in Seattle.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: this high school in Seattle is overrun by demons. High school students have all been like converted into like terrible human demon amalgamations. Their eyes have like bubbled up. They're covered in like pussy rashes. Their teeth have turned into like long as daggers. So like we see down a hallway just a horrible screech of, Where do we find Greg Moneyball in this situation?
I got out of there. There was some weird stuff happening. I'm just sort of sitting in like a field across the street from the school looking at how bad it's going.
Great. So you're looking down. The school is like on fire, smoke pluming up, and like you can see little bits of like the town over the hills. That's also on fire. Screams and car crashes. Shit is going down. What happens? How does Charles Mothers enter the scene?
Charles Mothers like ports in, unfortunately, like in the middle of the demons, like on the roof of the school, and there's just like demons swarming around.
Whoa.
And he immediately like drops down and does like some commando shit and is just like blasting and like punching and like throwing gin in people's eyes. And it's revealed that he has a flamethrower that's like powered by his homemade gin that's like extra like
so yeah,
napalm.
it's a demon like rushes up. It's like clawing forward towards you, and then you just like unleash.
Yeah, just. Eat that for Martha.
and then he like slowly like it kind of dies down, and he like jumps off the roof and like power like punches into the ground, and then just like looks up and sees Greg Moneyball.
It's like, Greg, the world needs your help.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I know a lot about you, son.
You fucking reek of gin, dude.
You reek like swamp gas and
Yeah.
jerking off to a Brad Pitt movie. Let's go.
Well, I don't jerk off to it. I like the movie. Like, where are we going? Who are you?
I'm Charles motherfucking Mothers.
Is that your name?
Yes, and I'm here to tell you you're the chosen one, Sonny Jim. You're one of the only people, or whatever you are, sort of things, that can save the whole multiverse. And yes, there is a multiverse. You're in charge of saving it with me. We've got demons to kill. We've got demon stones to get out of those demons. And I need your help.
I gotta say, this all sounds super unlikely.
I reach up and put my hand over his mouth.
Ow. Bite it?
I keep it and just like lock eyes with him as like blood starts to trickle down his beard.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, boy, you do this. I'll get you a meeting with Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt themselves. You could talk about Moneyball all day.
I mean, I could already do that. It's like muffled. All right, so why me?
I'm not totally sure. I just had a feeling.
All right, well, my school's fucked, So I guess I won't get in trouble.
This is the only trouble that matters. That and if a cop sees you wanking off in a field. Don't do that. Either.
All right. I'll do it if you sign like a permission slip, because I already have like 3 absences this semester, and then I have to repeat 8th grade if I miss another day. So can you do that?
I can tell you've got a code, and I fucking respect that.
Yeah.
I'll sign whatever you want. Hop on.
All right.
Here. Wait, by the way, here's a fancy mecha suit for you. It's powered up. You kids like newfangled devices. It's like an iPhone, but for your whole body, and it's got
wow.
flamethrowers or something.
Oh, I got to put it on, and it's like strapping up to my arms. Oh, I feel so efficient. Every part of me being used to its maximum potential. Like the Oakland Athletics under the management of Billy Bean. You know what? I like this feeling. Maybe I should have been a chosen one all along. Where are we going?
We're going to the bottom of the sea.
Okay, it's kind of like a swamp.
Sure.
If we go to a swamp, I'm set.
All right, maybe we will. We've got to find these demons later, but first, there's someone I'd like you to meet.
I'm waving at my school. Bye.
Charles,
Bye, Mrs. Mathis.
This is McMathis.
Yeah.
She teaches math.
we see Charles like punch something into a dial pad on his wrist.
Beep, beep, beep,
Another portal opens up. And Charles Mothers and Greg step through.
So let's go. One multiverse later.
So we cut to under the sea. We get the exterior of Squidward's tiki house, or Easter Island head house. Bikini Bottom, it's not the first time it's been on fire, but it's a similar chaotic situation. Outside your door are a demonically influenced SpongeBob and Patrick. They're bloated, once again, like razor sharp teeth, red eyes, appendages that shouldn't be there. They're outside. Squidward! Where do we find Squidward?
Squidward is absolutely taking a bubble bath. He's got like a big brush. Just sort of like, what did those idiots want?
Let us in, Squidward!
Oh my gosh. Oh, they're so annoying. I think they just burst in like into the he sees them out the window and then we cut back to the room and then they burst into the bathroom. The tongue just shoots
What is Greg and Charles's entrance into this?
As he's screaming, you see a hand like shoot through the window and like pull the SpongeBob back out and just like pull it out through the window, and then we climb in.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
What happened? What happened to my neighbors?
Oh, got it. Charles, this guy was telling me about this when we were in the portal. So what happened? Yeah, that's part of it. Is
I'm in the bath.
Yeah,
this is me time.
Look, let's just take turns talking, and then okay. So there's so first of all and I'm like looking at Charles a lot to for approval. I'm like, so first of all, there's like multiple universes. It's sort of like that's true, and then also there's like demons in there and all of them, and then So my name's Greg, and I'm Swamp Thing. I'm 16 years old, and I'm apparently a chosen one. And then this alcoholic guy, he came in.
You can see Charles like hastily putting away another flask.
Yeah, so he came through a portal, and then he was yelling some stuff at me, but it was pretty slurred, so I didn't get all of it. And then
So I stop. I put my hand over his mouth again, and then I look at Squidward and I say,
You know this bath that you're so enjoying? You know that clarinet that you love so much.
Wow, you know a lot about me.
Just those two things.
That's pretty much all there
I'm
is to
super
me.
out right now.
You know how you hate working at Krusty Burger. That's wrong.
Krusty
Krusty Krab.
Krusty Burger sounds like it's from a different universe in the multiverse. that I
Featuring a
just
nip
learned of.
slip by Andrew Bridgman.
I'd be
know-
interested in seeing that at a later time.
All those things that you love, they'll be gone.
Well, you
Like the
just
dust from a bunch of cockroaches.
I don't love Krusty Krab, but the clarinet in my bubble bath, I sure do.
Yeah, he doesn't make like a ton of sense, but it's like he's like really scary, and so I
No,
just
yeah.
like kind of am going with him on this. But yeah, there's a lot of demons. That's probably what these guys are. Is Patrick still in there?
Yes, he's Demon Patrick is like facing the wall and like screeching at the wall. Can't quite make out why he can't move forward.
Yeah, so
Even as a demon, dumb as a rock.
I'd like to use my demon BBQ move. When you light up your gin-powered flamethrower to melt some demon scum, roll plus agility. On 10 plus, you choose 2. On a 7 through 9,
Great.
choose 1.
Great, go ahead.
So to see if I can do away with Patrick.
Great.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's not good.
Let's see. So that is a
That's a 5.
6, 7.
So my agility,
Oh, yeah.
roll plus agility. Okay, so 7. So on a 7 through 9, I choose 1. So I'm gonna still have some gin left over because that's very important to me.
Okay, so you set fire to Patrick.
Great.
Greg, it maybe
Underwater,
doesn't make
wow.
sense that it's underwater, but he does in fact seem to be on fire.
This is strong gin.
I've been lit on fire underwater. I've been charred to a crisp many times.
But a flaming demon Patrick, like as you're saying this, is all like, and like is making its way towards your bubble bath that you're still in to try and like put itself out. What do you do?
Let's get out of here.
I thought you'd never ask.
I hand him the suit. I slap it and it starts to just like go on him.
Wow.
Squidward, how does the suit fit a little awkwardly?
Well, it's only got 2 legs, and I've got more than 2 legs, so they're just sort of crammed in there. But honestly, this is the most powerful and self-actualized I've ever felt in my entire life.
yeah, I feel like we have a lot of kind of in common. Like me being in high school and you being like a sad adult.
Yeah, neither of us really have it figured out, but we both think we do, you know? Yeah. Well, you're the first people who have ever recognized me for my innate talents. I assume that's why you're here.
You're right. That is why we're here.
What's your talent?
I pull out my my clarinet, Clary the clarinet, and I say, oh, I think you're about to find out. and I just play some really discordant, horrible music.
Demon Patrick emerges from the bath. What do you guys do?
Whoa, it seems like that music is just as aggravating to demons as it is to everyone else. The perfect weapon.
I have a laser rifle.
We all have a laser rifle.
Yeah, so I think I using this newly acquired laser rifle, I just shout, "You always ruin my me time. Now I'm gonna ruin your whole existence."
I don't think we have to roll for that one. I think you just plunge Demon Patrick full of laser holes.
Wow, that felt great. I've wanted to do that for so long.
Killing feels good. Killing your enemies feels great.
Killing does feel good. Wow, you're very wise, Mr. Mothers, you said your name was?
That's right.
Did you say what your name was?
Charles
Okay.
motherfucking Mothers.
Amazing.
I assume you're saying that as you open up another
Yeah,
portal.
like beep boop beep boop beep.
Wait, before we go, I pick up my my conch shell phone and I dial the Krusty Krab and I say, "Hey, Mr. Krabs, guess what? I quit."
Very good.
Disappearing into the portal. I'm like, you guys have DVDs down here? Or what do you watch movies on? Do you get the same movies, or is it like a Europe deal where it's like a couple months later?
Yeah, I don't. We've got. I think there's probably a drive-in theater that people go to in their boat cars.
Oh yeah. Well, do you ever go there?
No, it's too loud.
This is how, like,
I suck.
We kind of like fade to black as we get like several hours later.
Several hours later.
We get an establishing shot of John Arbuckle's home from Garfield. And you guys are sitting in standing in the living room of John Arbuckle and Garfield. If you remember from our previous episode of TablePop, John Arbuckle has been ripped to shreds. Garfield eaten whole by a demonic normal who has been shot full of laser holes by Charles Mothers.
That's right.
So as like the wet, gross, like of demon normal sits in front of you, it's rising out from the corpse is a fist-sized gray stone with a burning red rune. And it like hovers over to you, Charles.
I pluck it out of the air.
It was something in like a voice from your suit. You don't know where there could be speakers, but you hear it just go, first rune acquired.
Whoa.
Great.
Nice. Charles, nice one.
You boys are just the ticket. And when this is all done and over, I'm going to make you some pastries and maybe a muffin or two.
I think he thinks like I'm his son, maybe? I don't
No, I'm just calling you Sonny Jim. I've got a son, but, well, never mind.
I actually have, I have a pretty good relationship with my parents, but for some reason I just turned out like this anyway.
Whoa, same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm starting to feel like maybe this team isn't so ragtag after all.
Yeah. We seem to have a lot in common, the three of us.
Another.
They share a nice laugh. I like pass around some gin.
I think now that I'm out of water, I imagine my power suit has like a big sort of bubble.
Yes.
Yeah,
full
like
of water.
Sandy.
Yeah. So I just sort of poured the gin into the top and do like that
Because
fish.
it's like a water soup, but it's still like a fish bowl. And it's got like a hole on
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
So another voice like rings up. It's the same voice rings up from the suit. It's like coordinates acquired. Ready to travel?
You boys ready to kill another demon?
Honestly, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah, I've been really kind of just filled with ennui in general. Like 16's a hard age, so yeah, I just like having purpose.
You're not wrong. By the time I was 16, I'd killed 3 Nazis and bedded 90 women.
Whoa.
It's not a competition, but I'm just proud of
No,
that.
if it was, you'd be winning for sure. Yeah,
Sweet.
Do you guys have Nazis in your world, Squidward?
No, well, I live under the ocean, so I've seen U-boats. Is that the?
Oh, so they're just regular Nazis.
Yeah, they're around.
A new portal rips open in the living room.
Last one's in a rotten egg. I jump
All right,
in.
gang.
We're having
so-
fun now.
We are going to do the travel the void move. As you guys move through the void, through the TablePop multiverse, you are risking exposing yourselves to the horrors of the void.
Okay.
What everyone's going to have to do is make a willpower roll. And this is kind of to shield yourself from the true horrors.
Can't be any more horrible than living next to a couple of annoying idiots.
That's why I live alone.
Willpower, so that's an 8.
I thought you lived alone because your wife
8
died.
plus 2.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
All right, so Squidward, it's like the void. What are some horrors you experience in the void that you manage to like at least manages to not scar you.
Horrors in I think the void is sort of an unfathomable, endless darkness full of shadow monsters and insanity demons, and that's nothing that Squidward hasn't experienced outside his own mind. Of course. So every waking moment is pain and suffering for Squidward. So it's nothing new.
Absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. Squidward is a sad, wretched man who lives a horrible existence.
Charles Mothers, go ahead and make your travel the void.
He's a lethal weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great. Charles Mothers, passing through the void, darkness and insanity. How do you feel?
Just flipping off monsters on every side.
Yeah. I don't have fingers. I lift my nose up like.
Greg, travel the void.
All right. Well, that's just a 7 flat.
Okay. So what do you see that requires you to mark off one of your insanity?
I see just like a ghostly image of a marquee that's like Moneyball sold out forever.
Oh my god.
No.
Amazing.
No.
So you're gonna mark off your insanity. You have 2 insanity left.
Ooh.
But okay, so
Or just like, and then other Moneyball stuff. Like it's Moneyball, but it's not Brad Pitt. It's like instead it's like Jeremy Renner, and I'm like, that's a terrible casting decision. No. I'm going losing it.
So you step to the other side of the portal and you enter a city just full of wreckage. People are screaming, cars are crashing. It's pure, absolute chaos through this city square. They're all looking upward in horror. Those who have not been transformed into demons and aren't eating each other are looking up in the sky, screaming in horror as this terrible snake-like creature that is actually a bunch of minions in sort of a human minions from the movie Minions in a horrible like, human centipede-ish contraption.
Oh no!
A terrible vertical mouth full of sharp teeth running down the length of it, and it is tearing shit up. Your suit, Charles, your suit identifies that this is one of the KDEs, the key demonic entities that you need to slay. So monster, people running and screaming, terror everywhere. What do you guys do?
Let's fuck it up. Right?
I'm just screaming about Jeremy Renner and flailing around in my suit.
I give him some more gin to like calm him down.
Yeah, it's super illegal. I'm 16. Body's not handling it well. I'm getting super drunk from this fucking 190 proof
Oh
gin.
yeah, it is pure rocket fuel.
Yeah. Just like fucking bullshit.
Okay, so now I have an ability called It's What Martha Would Have Wanted.
Okay.
When you reassure an ally with words you heard from your dead wife Martha, roll plus willpower. On a 10 plus, give them +1 forward on their next roll. On a 7 and 9, they receive a bonus, but also mark off an insanity. Oh, so is that going to take away an insanity from him?
It will not take away an insanity, but it'll give an ally a boost to their next roll.
Okay, I'm going to do that to Greg.
What do you
I'm
tell
going to try
Greg?
and comfort him.
I say, Greg, look at me. Forget the horrors. I'm going to tell you something that my dear departed wife Martha once told me. And here it is. Stop fucking crying.
Wow.
She sounds like a sweet woman.
She was as close to a saint as has ever walked this earth. And I miss her every day.
That's pretty sad, Mr. Mothers.
Well, fuck it. Let's go kill these orange things.
The minion centipede beast.
Charles' mother's a little bit colorblind.
Yeah, slight color blindness.
Well, they turn orange because the demonic energy.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Yellow plus
Mixed
red
with
is
the,
orange.
yeah, exactly.
I'm glad how like tight and precious we're being off the lore this episode.
yeah.
Fucking the most off the rails show.
So the Minion centipede horror, basically out of its googly eyes, which have moved to like down the sides of the beast.
The goggles.
Right.
Ooh,
Basically shoots out this super intense laser that like slices through half of a building, which is now beginning to crumble down towards Squidward. Squidward, you're at risk of being crushed by falling debris. What do you do?
I would like to insult this beast using my condescending neighbor ability.
Real fast, I'm gonna if we do anything other, I mean, like we need to immediately deal with this rubble falling directly on top of you.
Oh, I see.
I guess I
having a little trouble with my papers.
yeah. I think I try to get out of the way of the rubble.
Okay, great. So that's gonna be a
Nice.
Wow, that's some quick thinking, Nathan.
Yeah.
that's gonna be a here we go move that's doing something risky. So we're gonna roll plus agility.
Agility. Okay.
Charles, check it out. Squidward's trying to get out of the way of that rubble.
He's really doing it.
So that's gonna be an 8 plus 1 is 9.
Great. So you mostly like manage to roll out of the way as like this big shadow of a building begins to descend on top of you, and you move out of the way and you don't get hurt, but you do get pinned by a little bit of rubble that falls down, like knocks you to the ground, and like your leg is pinned by now this big heavy piece of rock. Your suit, however, is like saving you from damage. So the beast roars and is about to let out another laser attack. Greg, the monster is causing havoc, but Squidward is pinned. What do you do?
It's got a big old mouth, right? It's like a huge maw sort of
Yeah.
thing. All right, I got some swamp gas canisters.
Nice.
Oh, baby.
I'm shit faced from fucking Charles's gin.
You're welcome.
And I'm gonna. And I was like, why don't you take a fucking smoke break? And then I loaded it into. Then I realized it's gas. I'm like, gas, smoke. Go! And then I hit my big button to launch. I want to try to launch the canister like straight into the maw of this thing.
Yeah, that sounds great. So the gas canister sails through the air, a wisp of green gas like trailing behind it. You're gonna go ahead and make an agility roll,
Okay.
unless it says otherwise. No,
it
there's
says
no movement.
agility. I was just looking at my stats.
Gotcha.
Not great. I get a 6. That's 6 total with my bonus.
So the
I'm pretty drunk, so it's a little difficult to aim for Greg right now.
the gas canister, like the arc doesn't quite reach the maw of the beast, and in fact, like lands down into the street where it explodes. It's a green gas covers the street, obscuring your view a bit, and it seems to like mesh into the pores of some of the demons who have now seemed to have grown stronger and more muscular at the swamp gas.
I didn't roll a -1. Jesus.
It's a 6 minus. It's a fail.
Sorry.
So now these hordes of demons are now rushing you guys.
Fuck. Sorry.
It's
Don't breathe the gas.
It's all right.
It's noxious.
You're doing your best, and I
Thanks.
respect that.
Okay.
Charles, what do you do?
Charles-
Squidward is still pinned. There are demons rushing you, and that horrible beast is no closer to being dead.
All right. Charles is going to do, I'm going to try and do a couple things that simultaneously.
Great.
Okay. So I have with me a bag of cockroach pieces, which are ground into a fine powder. Oh, Charles Mothers is a cockroach farmer.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's taken up
Cockroach
since
milk.
his wife died. He makes cockroach milk, puts in pasties, whatever. So the cockroach is ground into a fine powder that is, as everyone knows, cockroach powder is like heavier than
Delicious.
gas. And so I can throw it and like I want the gas to kind of damp down the gas.
Yeah, okay.
Like with the particles.
So the powder lands on top of the gas and then pushes it
Yeah,
down.
it's- it's physics.
Yeah,
You
How a
guys-
fire extinguisher works.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. It's like a fire.
You need to mark
extinguisher.
off
Checks out.
one use of your cockroach
Yep.
pieces.
Okay.
But yeah, checks out. You can now very well. It definitely cuts down on the poor visibility. You can now definitely see the horde of demons approaching you.
Yep. Then I would like to okay, so that happens simultaneously. I take some gin, just some gin, and I what's happening with you? Oh yeah, you're stuck
I'm
under
like
the
falling
thing.
over.
I say, Squiddy boy, close your eyes, and then he closes his eyes, hopefully, and then I like coat the gin, and it like lubes up his suit because it like is so acidic that it won't damage the suit, but might like
Or you could
damage
use
some
all
of
that
the.
cockroach milk you got. You think cockroach butter?
Yeah, there's some cockroach butter in the gin.
of course.
It like lubes up his suit, and then so 1, 2, and then I'm gonna take my fucking giant ass like arm cannons and just like blast these demons in front of us.
Okay. So let's make a quick strength. Here we go. Roll.
Okay.
Which is to basically pull a lubricated Squidward out from under the rubble before demons descend
Okay.
or arrive.
Okay, cool. So here we go. Fuck. Yeah, that's gonna be bad.
So
I got a
that's
3.
you managed to yank out Squidward. However, Squidward, it's not a particularly effective lubricant. And
I'm just being stretched in my armor.
The armor actually like crushes a little, and you're gonna take a wound, Squidward, as you get pulled out. And demons.
Oh, do we mark this? Which way do we mark them? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
The Scantron won't read it unless it's totally filled in.
So numbered your pencil? Whoa, this is just like the tests at my school. The ways that we mark down our injuries in battle.
Demons now surround all of you. These giant, large.
It's David Draymond from Disturbed?
Yes,
He's here.
all of them. They've all got these long fingernails, red eyes, and they're all like gross and pussy and like swelling in weird, unsettling ways. And they are all around you now. So you were going to do something about them too?
Yeah, I want to use my arm cannon flamethrowers to fucking light them up.
Great.
Baby.
Great. Yeah, let's go for it. There's a move there, I believe.
Is that the fire it up when
Yeah.
you fire your laser rifle?
Are you using your laser rifle or your flamethrower?
Oh, the demon BBQ.
Great.
Miss Scusa. Okay. So roll plus agility. My agility is 2. I'm old, but I'm quick. Let's go.
Nice.
Okay, nice. That's an 8 plus 2 is a 10.
Great. So great.
Is that good enough for you, Brian?
It really is. What is it like? What does it look like when Charles Mothers like scorches up all these demons with his flamethrower, just melting all of them?
He just like is pretty still and like looks like he like gains a little bit of height and just like stands up straighter and just like both arms just fucking doing it, lighting him up.
Yeah. I look over to Squidward and I'm like, who's Brian? Yelling about Brian. He keeps talking about every time I attack, he says something about my rolls. I don't understand what he's talking about.
It's effective. It's an effective. Whatever he's doing, I don't know why we're here. It seems like he's destroying all these demons and we're just getting in the way, but I'm happy to be part of something.
Yeah. Hey, Charles.
Yes?
You're doing great.
Thank you.
You're the only friend I've ever had.
I don't need friends, but I'm happy to have them.
The minion centipede creature is like tearing down buildings. There's a large like monument that it just like swallows whole, and it is now fast approaching you guys. What do you do?
How many eyes does this thing have?
Probably like 100 as it goes down the length of this thing.
Shit.
It's not unblindable enemy.
This is
really.
definitely like a kaiju-sized creature.
Oh god.
Oh shit. Okay. Can we look at this creature and does it have any like distinct points that look squishier than any other parts of it besides the 100 eyes?
There are like pustules and other things.
Okay.
It's a little hard to tell though.
Okay.
Is there a lamppost around here, right?
Yeah,
It's a
of course.
destroyed city. Can I try to yank the lamppost out of the ground and like get into a batting stance?
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. No need to roll even like, does it take a second to like pull out of the ground or?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I got I round off. It comes out and I kind of bend it and round off the cement on the bottom, so it's got a real baseball bat feel to it. I'm doing the tapping the plate.
Yeah.
And waving it around.
The creature comes roaring down the street. It's flapping its horrible maw, approaching you. And
I don't hit a lot of home runs, but I get on base a lot of the time. And that's what matters in Moneyball.
Sounds like a great film. Sounds like a great,
is.
Sounds.
the music
I
swells.
throw a portable DVD player at Squidward.
I'll watch it later.
I want to just swing into it right at this I guess the center of the pede.
Yeah. Yeah,
Center of the
absolutely.
Center of the pede.
Center of the pede. Yeah, go for it. I think that's going to be a strength roll.
You didn't have a lamppost baseball ability,
I
so
didn't.
I have to figure it out. I'm pretty strong
You're
for
pretty
a 16-year-old. Not 7.
Okay. So
There
that
you go.
is pretty
Not
good.
doing well.
You're gonna get to deal damage. So roll a
Okay.
d6. 1 or a 2 is 1 wound. 3 or 4 is
Snap it.
2 wounds. 5 or 6 is 3
I'm getting
wounds.
stronger, Charles.
Good.
Okay.
It's the gin.
Yeah, I like this stuff. I think I might drink it forever.
Same here.
So you hit the pede with the lamppost and hit it actually good. A little bit of green blood gushes out of the creature, splashing onto you. And oh shit, it's acidic. You're gonna take a wound.
Oh, God. All right. Who could have thought the same color of the Oakland Athletics could have caused me such pain?
Squidward.
Wow.
All this has happened. You
I have a lot of trouble in English also. This is a school problem.
Squidward, you're so happy to be a part of this, but you haven't had a chance to shine. What do you do? As this beast, which is now bleeding onto Greg with its acidic blood.
Oh, fuck.
What do you do?
This blood is almost as strong as Charles's gin.
I do what I have to do, which is pull out my clarinet. This is the biggest audience I've ever had.
Screaming people running by.
Yeah, and I begin to play. I think I thought of this after the fact, but it would have been cool to do like that dun 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 dun, dun like the baseball.
Yeah.
So I do it after the fact because I know you like baseball, and I hope it'll soothe you. But also, I hope it distracts the demon monster.
He's our bard. He's our party's bard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to
so
imagine an anime thing of this clarinet unfolding too.
Yeah.
All the little tubes
yeah, it got upgraded along with my power armor.
Yeah.
So I have this ability, Clary the Clarinet. When I play a discordant melody on the clarinet, roll plus intelligence, and if I get a 10+, our allies take +1 ongoing when they F shit up.
All right.
7 to 9, you take the brunt of attention from enemies.
Well, that's gonna be a 10 though.
Hey
Oh!
The creature rears back, screeching. It clearly a shudder runs up the creature, and it roars into the sky. Charles, it is completely distracted. What do you do?
Okay, I'm
I yelled
gonna
at Charles, "You're on deck!"
I'm gonna run up on its back and try and stab it where I think its brainish part or
What do you stab
heart
it with?
could be. I think I'm gonna stab it with. Can I grab the
Yeah.
Absolutely.
the bat that he used?
The
I'm
lamp.
holding it up.
The
Yeah.
lamppost.
Yeah.
Do
I
you throw it to him, Greg?
Yeah, I toss it up.
Great.
And I'm like, throwing the bat is a foul. I'd be ejected in a game.
You're not wrong. We don't have baseball in England. I play cricket sometimes.
What's cricket?
I'll tell you later. I grab it, I run up like a lance, and then I like jump like so high, like the clouds part for a second, and there's like a glint of sun like off my glasses, and then like two-handed, I just go down like fucking Neon Genesis.
Majestic.
Somebody's been playing Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. You're right.
Go ahead and make a strength roll. Take the +1 from the discordant melody.
Okay. Shit, I'm
Plus
gonna
your
need
strength.
It. Okay, so that's just +1, so that's gonna be a 7. Whew. Oh, good, nice. The system works.
So the spear or the lamppost sinks into the creature. Charles, it as it cuts through, you manage to ride the thing back down to the ground, cutting open this demon thing. It's acidic blood splashing on, pouring all over you. You're gonna take a wound.
Shit.
But go ahead and roll damage. You could kill this thing.
Okay. So damage.
Damage is 1d6.
1d6. Okay. Here we go.
Whoa!
Rolled a 6, baby. Deals 3 wounds.
So this thing.
Fuck you, demon! Woo!
This thing, you have completely eviscerated it, riding it down, slashing it open with this lamppost.
Awesome.
Reach the ground, its guts pouring out onto the street, melting the asphalt. You kind of got to run away from it a little bit. And from its corpse rises another fist-sized stone. And it hovers over towards Greg.
Yeah, I do a diving catch for no reason. Let's say it's floating too high, and I do like a outfielder jump off a wall.
Yes. Demon rune acquired.
I go over to the corpse. I go, rub some dirt on it.
It just bubbles.
Get it, guys? It's like baseball. I'm trying to have a cool thing. Do you think that's good?
I think it's great.
Thanks, Squidward.
Yeah.
I think whatever you believe in, as long as it's not Hitler, is A-okay.
Well, from everything they've told me about Hitler in high school, he seems like a pretty bad guy.
Yes, he was.
Did you know him personally?
I punched him in the dick one time before I was arrested and taken as a prisoner of war for 9 years.
Man, you got a lot of experiences.
Fucking A.
Coordinates for 3rd demon rune acquired. Ready to travel?
Let's do it, lads.
Time to get on the old tour bus. I'm running out of baseball stuff.
Another portal opens in the middle of the street.
But I wasn't done with my solo.
It's somebody's running by being chased by a demon you suck!
That's hurtful. But nothing I haven't heard before.
All right, gang, we're going to have to travel the void again.
Okay.
Willpower?
Willpower.
That's 7 plus 2 is 9.
Awesome.
So what happens this time? What is we've already established Squidward kind of becoming a pro at traveling the void.
Mm-hmm.
What happens this time that affects you and makes you take an insanity?
I think I remember that I left my parents behind in Bikini Bottom, and like I said, despite my sad adult life, my parents were very nice and nurturing and loving, and I realize I may never see them again.
Oh, sad.
So that does some mental damage to you.
Yeah.
My God.
So,
it's not something I think about regularly in the day-to-day monotony of going to work at a fast food restaurant and dealing with my annoying neighbors. But now that the fate of the multiverse is at stake, I realize that maybe I should spend more time talking with my parents if I get the opportunity again.
We're floating through the void. Yeah.
Charles doesn't say anything, but he just takes out his locket of Martha's picture and just kisses it gently under his mustache.
Is it a big mecha locket? It's huge now. Like a massive picture of it.
Greg, you need to make a travel the void roll.
Oh God.
Travel the void. There you go.
Oof. What else happens to it?
5 plus your
willpower.
willpower.
That's just a 5 straight.
Oh,
I'm not-
baby.
Shit.
I'm 16. I'm not built for this.
We're going to deal with this in a second because that's bad. Charles Smothers, let's do
No.
your move as well.
All right. Okay, I have that's a 5 plus a 2 for my willpower, so 7.
7. Okay. What do you see that makes you take an insanity?
I see. I think I see just like my gins, like it's just like a ton of rabbits in my garden, just like decimating like the lettuce and like
Fucking
fucking
Peter
up my
Cottontail.
my peppers, and it's just like the basil crop that and like the lavender that I like planted is just like dead.
While you're looking at this vision of this as you travel through the void, you feel what feels like a hand on your shoulder. And you hear a voice, so a familiar voice saying, "Are you okay, Charles?" It's of course Martha's voice in your ear, and you turn around and she's gone.
It's just me going, "Are you okay, Charles? Charles, are you okay?"
Hold your loved ones close.
Just grab you and start
We have like
crying.
a very manly hug. Like
So while this is happening, obviously no one's having a good time traveling the infinite void right now, but Greg is having an especially bad time. Greg, you're gonna have to make the go insane roll. Basically, this is another willpower roll. If you roll a 10 plus, you're gonna shake it off and you'll be okay. On a 7 and 9, the demonic influences are going to reach into your brain.
Do I also talk about what I see while I try to get
Yes.
these dice into my glove?
Yes, please.
Well, that's going to be a while. There we go. I am seeing an alternate timeline where the natural progression of time and events in the world are being erased and rewritten, in which the Billy Bean-led Oakland Athletics, built on the ideas of a young person played by Jonah Hill, because I don't know really his name. It is an unimaginable failure. The team loses every single game that season. The words Moneyball become a joke for the rest of all time for a terrible idea or some sort of hubristic idea that someone thinks they're smarter. Baseball has become purely a game of whoever can pay the most money for the best players. All of the stats that people thought were important are important. The game is exactly as it seems. There's no depth to it. That's what I see. And then I get a 7.
Okay, so we cross through the void, and we find ourselves outside of a fast food restaurant. You're in the parking lot. It's a square building. The sign up above, a clown with the logo Krusty Burger.
Oh, God.
Oh, foreshadowing.
You step through into the void. Springfield, the world of The Simpsons, is also in the same pandemonium chaos that we saw before. However, as you step out of the void, something's wrong with Greg. Greg, what does it look like when the demons have sort of infiltrated your body?
It's well, like the opposite of Moneyball. My mech is like developing pinstripes.
Poor square.
And I'm kind of the helmet of the mech has like got this sort of like interlocked N and Y. And I'm basically just becoming like a New York Yankee. And I sound exactly like Steinbrenner from Seinfeld, where I'm like, that's what I do. What does he sound like in that again?
He sounds like it's Larry David, right?
Yeah, but it's like
yeah.
him doing like a thing, right? So he's like, I'm like,
You guys have to do something to snap Greg out of this quick. What do you do?
Oh man.
try it.
I guess I wanna. Martha doesn't want any young men to lose their sight of their dreams or the things that they love. So I guess I'd like to use it's what Martha would have wanted. Can I do that again?
You absolutely can do that again. So what do you tell him? What do you tell him
Okay.
to shake him out of it?
All right. Greg, look at me. I'm gonna tell you something Martha would whisper to me sometimes, like twice a month. okay? Moneyball is a great movie.
She liked it?
She loved it. I didn't like to go to the cinema much, but she'd take me, and we went together and had a great time. And so just know that, okay? Snap out of it.
I take the portable DVD player you gave me and start playing Moneyball on it.
I'm like trying not to look at it like it's a cross and an exorcism.
It's just the DVD menu screen for Moneyball. I'm trying to get it to play, but
That melody.
It's just playing on loop.
So make this roll. Make your. It's what Martha would have wanted, but because Squidward has pulled out the portable DVD, you can add +2 to this.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's a 7 plus my 2 willpower is a 9 plus the 2 that's an 11, baby.
Greg, what's it like snapping back out of it?
Just the pinstripes recede and I rip the helmet off. And I'm like, there's more to this than it looks. You don't need to be rich to succeed. This isn't a game just for the rich men. Squidward, Charles, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, so I'm trying to think of a baseball saying.
Let's play ball. That's kind of the big one that you haven't used yet.
7th inning stretch.
Yeah, so I needed a little 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, that's.
But now it's the top of the 8th,
Hot dogs.
and I'm ready to batter up.
Cracker Jacks.
Yeah.
Seats. In a
Yeah.
stadium.
A box of Cracker Jacks comes out of my suit. I eat it to calm myself down.
Looming before you, of course, is the Krusty Burger, this square fast food building, and there appear to be ruffling roars and noises from within. Charles, you hear your suit announce coordinates of KDE acquired.
Let's go play ball.
Ah! Can I? Oh yeah. Do we go in? I mean, I want to fire in a swamp gas to like SWAT style, clear it out.
Do you have a,
okay.
And then I would like to ignite that swamp gas with my flamethrower.
Famously do ignite
baby.
and cause sightings of ghosts.
Or UFOs.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. So the door sort of like automatic open. And Greg, you just
Boom, and then the doors see a gas canister coming and are like, "Foomf," and then it goes in like, "Foomf." So they go around close
so
it.
there's a bunch of demons like on the tables, on the counter, filled, and they like as the canister dink 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 dinks, and then
Yeah.
Then just do you have any projectiles?
I've got 2 charges left on my laser rifle, and I also have some cookies that SpongeBob packed me before he turned into a demon, evidently.
That's so sweet and cute.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking
Even as a demon, he still had to be cute. God, what an obnoxious asshole. I hate him so much.
Can you toss one of those cookies through the glass of the window? And
Gladly. Get these memories of my horrible neighbor out of my sight.
Okay, so then through that hole of the glass, I'd like to blast my flamethrower.
I'm sure he put some weird combination of seasonings on them that when I took a bite would make my head explode or
Old
something.
Bay cookies.
Yeah.
A SpongeBob spicy cookie.
Yeah.
as the Krusty Burger is consumed with flame. Bursting out of the windows are these demons who are alight, and then they like run around and like collapse and just smolder out. It's a quick, like almost like flashbang of fire that quickly dissipates. So like this whole room has been cleared out of demons. However, you can still hear beyond sort of the restaurant, like main seating area, you can hear wet, ugly, like chomps coming from the kitchen in back.
Dad? I guess we got to go back there, huh?
I thought I'd never have to go into another fast food restaurant again.
Well, if this goes bad for us, you won't.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
Do you guys do anything to prep before stepping back?
I'd like to kiss my picture of Martha again.
I'd like to kiss my copy of Moneyball again.
I'll kiss my clarinet if we're all kissing stuff.
Yeah. We each
So-
have a tender smooch with our
Yeah.
most prized possession.
I kiss it right on the blowhole so it makes a little noise. when I do like this.
A little kiss on the reed.
Yeah.
So we see maybe we see Charles like slide over the counter, the cashier counter, kind of looking back into the kitchen of the Krusty Burger, and you can hear the wet chomping is getting louder as we see Charles round the corner, like look into the kitchen. You can see this hulking mass. It is if you've seen our Simpsons episode of TablePop, it is pretty literally Carolyn Page's horrible Simpson costume merged with Andrew Bridgman's Marge.
Oh God.
Oh, a Marge merge.
Marge.
Merge Simpson.
Merge Simpson.
Nice, there it is.
The Carolyn Page Homer is like shoving burgers into its mouth as the demonic Andrew Bridgman Marge with googly eyes is like, Homer!
God.
The hair has like warped into like a tentacle with spikes and it's waving around. It is paying attention to the food and not you guys. What do you do?
If there's one thing I've learned from Moneyball, it's that homers are overrated. Let's turn this homer into a ground roll double.
Sure. Whatever you want.
What do you say, fellas? And hey, Charles, can I have some of that liquid that makes me feel less sad about never having had sex in this world?
Oh yeah, let me get some more of that too.
Sure. We each take a shot
Yeah.
of gin. And then I would like to I'd like lads.
Dad?
Sure. Well, I'll adopt you after this. We decide some papers. Okay, anyways. I'd like all of us to fire up our fucking suits, go in there, and get at this weird demonic thing like a girl right when she's turned 18. Let's do it.
18, you're growing. So you're just saying we just go in there, crank these suits up to 11, and just absolutely fucking lose it on this thing.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the best force is brute force.
Let's do a montage of like what is no rolls, just
Okay,
what is
okay.
everyone's like brute force just laying into this monster.
It's like this is like our like anime like forbidden technique
Yeah.
level shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like can if you all right. So if you guys remember Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, yeah, like you know how
That's not Moneyball.
That's not my
second
fault.
favorite
Wait a
movie.
minute.
Oh, new info.
No, but like I just like
Similar
clench
themes in those
really hard
movies.
and like release so much swamp gas that like forms a second. I changed my mind, so the Hellboy thing isn't relevant anymore. But
Okay,
I
okay.
release like this.
Just wanted to
this,
mention
Like a
that.
spirit
like
armor?
smoke spirit of like pure odor that is just like fighting alongside me.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and
Like
then
your
I'm also
stand.
yeah, and then I fucking am shooting my laser rifle all around. Yeah.
Squidward, what do you do?
Well, I feel like it would be out of character for Squidward to not insult this slovenly creature. And I say, you idiot. Don't you know that these burgers will go straight to your thighs? It's a hamburger. It's a heart attack on a bun. And I'm going to punch you right in the heart.
Just a supercharged like gauntlet.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
creature stumbles backwards. Charles Mothers. Finish him.
Charles Mothers just goes in and aims one cannon at one head, the other cannon at the other head. He says, fuck you.
Spatters of like red and purple blood just paint the kitchen, and like dripping all over the food and stuff, and it's just sort of like acidically burns through all of the furniture, or like kitchen supplies and everything. And from, of course, the corpse rises the third fist-sized rune stone, which makes its way to Squidward.
We've absolutely done it,
Demon
boys.
rune acquired.
Wow. This is the first time I've accomplished anything in my horrible, sad life.
You've just saved countless worlds, countless smiles of little children. They're all smiling for you today, Squidward.
It's
Wow.
You can go back to your old life.
No.
It's clear that there's like this sparking energy between the three rune stones, and like there's like a force that sort of almost seems to be pulling them together. What do you do?
I take mine out and hold it in my hand, and then hopefully these other two will do the same.
I hold mine in my tentacle.
And we
I'll hold mine in my hand tentacle combination thing.
we all touch tips with them.
we all,
And then
we all
runes-
dock with each other.
Yeah,
We
just
dock.
a little dock, yeah.
The
They're
runes begin to
uncircumcised
circle.
stones.
And circle with like faster and faster and faster, and they begin to like rise and float and spark. And it's like it's very clear, like, oh shit, we should step away from these. As another portal opens, like from this reaction, it's different than the portals Charles has been opening. It sort of has like this. The other portals have had like a red, fiery tinge to them. This is purple, eldritch, weird.
Oh.
This isn't or something. This is wherever this goes is who initiated the TABLEPOPALYPSE.
Boys, looks like we've got one last job.
Bottom of the ninth.
That's right.
2 outs.
Sure.
We gotta hit a home run.
There it is.
Well, you know what? If more, we gotta hit a couple good base hits.
Right, I thought the premise was that home runs are overrated and we
Not necessary.
Okay.
You know, we can just get a couple doubles.
Okay.
You guys want some more gin before we do this?
Yes,
Always.
please.
Always.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We're hammered.
So you step into the portal, and you walk through what feels like hours through just inky blackness. It's a lot of nothing, an occasional like woeful scream. But eventually, after what feels like way too long, it's almost like, have we made a mistake? Have we walked into nothingness? Ahead is just surrounded by infinite blackness, a table. Small table, blue walls, a brick background.
Oh,
Oh.
fuck. It's getting meta,
shit.
boys.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
And just like it's surrounded by black nothing. Sitting at the table are 2 children.
Oh.
A boy and a girl, platinum blonde hair.
Spooky.
And they look up and just like, you found us. Hello.
Hello. I'm really drunk. So
Hi. I'm also drunk.
Viewers of TablePop will recognize you guys don't know them, but our audience would recognize them as the Miller Garlic children.
I remember.
The Miller,
yes.
the Miller Garlic children were from our breakfast cereals episode, and they all of the innocence from their faces is gone.
Oh, shit.
They are, whoo boy. I was like, so they look at you and they speak in unison. I was like, are you here because we fixed things?
Now, listen up, you fucking weird creepos.
Yeah, tell him.
I don't believe you're really little kiddies. What's your game? Why are you mucking about in the time stream?
Yeah, stop mucking about. I throw up a little bit in my like water. And
Oh God! Oh my God!
fills the-
Oh, it makes me sick, so I throw up also.
I'm good. I like am
Yeah.
not registering as drunk at all. I just reek of booze.
What's your game? What do you want?
Our father taught us that the gods are cold and uncaring ancient beings. And we went looking for them and found only demons. And we discovered, they're speaking still in unison, the only way to save humanity is to end it.
This sounds like a bad mushroom trip I had once.
We'll end everything now. Is that okay?
It most certainly is not okay. You know who tried to end everything? Hitler. He was a real dick. And you children need to eat a balanced breakfast. And it's time to stop this nonsense.
Dad's gonna be upset about this.
I don't give two shits about your daddy.
Do you want him to be your dad? He's adopting all of us soon.
We're an unusual family.
Oh no!
The facade
Fireworks.
the facade of blue walls, brick wall, table, all fall away. We're on sort of a real creepy looking like lake. That you're standing on the surface and the of the water, and the water is just pouring down into the nothingness of the abyss.
Ooh, in an infinity
Yeah.
haunted lake.
Whoa.
Fancy.
We're just and like you can see in the very distance, little bits of light, not quite stars, almost like little galaxies, little universes, and rising up suddenly before you, in the water, is a large, I would say about 7 or 8 foot tiger man. And he rises before you from the water. He's huge. He's muscular. Pure ferocity has taken him. And he looks to you and was like, "Well, this doesn't sound great."
I want to tee out and say, Brennan, I'm sorry for what comes next. I would never hurt you in real life. You're a dear sweet man. Back in. Let's fucking kill this guy.
I'll fight you in real life. I'll meet you in a parking
The,
lot.
the
Take you
tiger's
apart.
their Tony the tiger is these horrible children's father in fiction.
So in our breakfast cereal episode,
I just
Tony
want
the Tiger,
to get caught up. on
the
that.
breakfast
Yeah,
cereal
let's
mascot.
catch you up real quick.
Yeah, they invaded a home and killed the parents, and then Tony the Tiger said, "I am your
Yeah.
father now."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, their father fired a shotgun into my mouth, but I just tanked it.
It's a good episode. I recommend it.
I milked my brothers.
To death.
It's a good series. You know, if you skipped around, go back, watch all the episodes that you missed. I know I will.
This is the only one that continuity matters for.
Tony the Tiger looks to you and my children have made me proud. You are disappointing me. And unfortunately, I have to end you to make sure that my grand plan goes off without a hitch.
Not on my watch.
Yeah, not on our watch.
Yeah, not on it. Our watch. Sorry.
No, I didn't do it. I didn't add anything either. I
Tony the Tiger goes and
repeated.
limbers up and is like, "Very well. Time to die." He goes and immediately lunges for Greg Moneyball, claws out, ready to just tear through your mecha armor like tissue paper. What do you do?
I got these shurikens made from repurposed DVDs and Moneyball.
Nice.
Can I use those as sort of defensively?
Yeah, I don't see why
Actually,
not.
I'm just gonna throw it for his eyes while he's jumping at me
Great.
to hurt his accuracy by getting putting sharp things in his eyes and ruining them.
Great. Let's go ahead and make that an agility roll to kind of boom, boom.
Nothing if not agile. Thank you. Put it back in the dish. I'll pick it up.
Of course.
Put it back in the dish. In your dice tray.
Yeah, don't. Using the claws doesn't
Well, they don't. Nothing works. Well, all right. Boom.
Yay!
What was this?
That was agility.
That's an 11.
So the shurikens into Tony the Tiger's eye, and he goes, "Well, this is inconvenient, but luckily, pain and pleasure combine in my mind."
Oh, he's a Cenobite?
This guy's
Fuck.
a freaking Hellraiser.
This guy's a freaky Hellraiser? What the fuck? You telling me this Tiger's a freaking Hellraiser?
Why is everybody a Hellraiser?
That's right. You can. First off, go ahead and deal damage to Tony the Tiger through your.
I'm gonna need to borrow someone's DVD collection after this so I can get all these
So
references.
that's 1d6.
Sure is. It's like a claw game.
Sort of.
Ah.
Nice.
Yay.
Great. So you deal 2 wounds to Tony. Great.
Skirt. 2 wounds, 1 in each eye.
Yeah. So he's like,
Skirt.
uh-huh. And so it's like. So there's a pain and pleasure combined. He's a Hellraiser. He sure is. Charles hooks come out of the darkness to like basically hook past your mecha armor and into your flesh. Like they come from above, they come from below, they come from the sides. What do you do?
I would like to jump up in the air and avoid them.
Great. Go ahead and make an agility roll for me.
All right.
Strategist Charles Miller's at it again.
That's a 4 plus 2 is 6.
So the hooks cut through your armor. No issue. You are now
shit.
suspended in the air as these chains begin to try to rip you apart. You're going to take a wound.
Oh, fuck.
How are you doing?
Charles is in excruciating pain, but still just looks totally the same.
Yeah.
You never,
Same
you,
pain as before.
you never know it. And then when there's like it cuts into his flesh, like a super gin smell just like starts pouring out.
Squidward. Running towards you are the 2 Miller Garlic children. They had like disappeared as the scenery changed. They had disappeared. Now they're like coming from both sides of you, out of nowhere, just like heads down in like Naruto runs, booking it towards you, and they like jump into the air. Like they're ready to just come into you with like fingernails. What do you do?
I shoot them with my laser.
Hell yeah. I
try and dodge out of the way so that I can line up a shot that hits both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a fuck it up roll, which is agility.
Shit.
Oh, baby.
All right.
It's a 12.
Go ahead and deal damage.
Okay.
That's 1d6.
Yeah.
Oh, Squidward's looking up.
1.
So you manage to
One and done. That's
One and
what they
done.
only had 1 health. Wow, that's great.
What a coincidence.
you manage to like blast a hole through the young boy, and he's just like, "Oh, this sucks," and he falls to the ground. The little girl just like looking down at her brother, sort of blankly, then looks up and was like, "I'm gonna eat your soul."
I don't have a soul.
Greg, you're currently stuck in like melee with Tony the Tiger. He is scratching again at you. He's got DVDs in his eyes. What do you do?
Can I like because he can't really see me because his eyes have been removed and or pulped up or whatever you'd like to say. Can I sort of like overload my laser rifle and then like make it so my mech is gonna blow up? But I can squirt out.
You're all lubed up from your swamp juice.
Yeah, I'm constantly juicing.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna say
I'm a wet little
Boy, were you gonna say you're a wet little boy?
no.
Okay, me neither.
so. Yes, you can do that with it. So it's essentially an agility roll to like the danger is to
Yeah,
an
like the
agility roll to
barrel
exit
of
your
my
suit.
laser rifle, I'm gonna shove a rolled up paperback copy of Moneyball into there. The now adapted into a major motion picture, and I slam that into the barrel, and then I like double pull the trigger because I think I have 2 charges left, and then I'm just gonna try to like squirt out of there.
Great. Okay, so the
Squirt
danger.
out of there.
Yeah.
So
Squirt
it's going
out
to
of
be
there.
an
Like I was an
agility roll.
oyster and
The-
somebody was eating me.
The danger here is that you don't squirt out of there in time and take damage.
Yeah, I figured that might happen. But that's the life of a squirter. Where are the dice? I need 2?
You need to, yes. Plus your agility.
8.
8. Okay. So the you manage to squirt out of the mech. The mech suit opens up in the back, and you manage to step out as the rifle explodes, sort of like consuming the suit with it. The explosion like knocks you to the ground.
Yeah.
But you get to deal damage to Tony.
Okay. Do I take any wounds?
Yeah, you're gonna take both the same amount of wounds.
Oh, all right. Well, this is a little, just a trade. That's 2, 3.
That is 3.
Well, I suppose I don't squirt out after all. May I borrow your pencil?
If you may, if you wait, 4 to 5 is or did you add 1 to it or?
He rolled a 5.
Yeah, 4 to 5 is 2, according to this deal damage chart.
You are correct. It's only 2.
Excuse
You
me.
are.
I'm dying, Squidward. Unless you correct me.
You are right. Only a 6 deals 3 wounds.
There you go. There you go.
got it. You got it.
Use it.
So
The fact that you haven't just given up and taken off the glove is really
This
impressive.
is TablePop. I'm not taking it off ever. Now it's in there.
Now it just lives in.
This is your home now.
So Greg, what that damage is like really severe. You're not doing well.
I'm so dry now because I used a lot of my goo to squirt out, and then I also the heat from the explosion dried me up, and now I'm like a little husk of a man. Is how I describe what's happened.
So Tony also.
I feel like a swamp. A dried up swamp. What's a dried up swamp? I don't know. I'm turning to peat. Yeah. I'm getting too dry.
So Tony is like a whole chunk of him is now missing from the explosion. There's just exposed like ribs and like dripping blood. And he's like, "Oh dear." He like holds out his hand and a wisp of like some sort of ethereal element wisps from the little girl and gets into Tony. The little girl drops to the ground and like Tony's wounds begin to heal. He's like,
Shit.
that's great.
You killed that tiny Nazi girl.
I'm fine. with
He's
this.
still not in like tip-top shape, but he's like repairing himself. Meanwhile, Charles' mother, you're still suspended in the air by hooks, which are in your flesh. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're
So
at risk of these things like digging in further, and they're currently trying to like tear you apart.
So I want to sort of swing myself and hope that the gin and the blood acts as, again, a lube to free me from the hooks.
Okay.
And then at the same time, I'd like to use my cannons, my leg cannons.
Of course.
I have those.
Yeah.
My leg cannons to blast at Tony.
Gotta
Full
blast.
force. Gotta blast. You know what I always say. Gotta blast.
So you were essentially like, are you trying to get out of the hooks, or are you just like pulling yourself up to like give yourself
I want
leverage with them?
I'm less concerned about myself. Like, I'm more concerned with killing Tony, but I also want to free myself.
Okay.
So if there's a way that I can free myself and blast.
I think the blast is first, and then we'll deal with the repercussions
Okay,
of that.
great. Let's do it.
Okay, so let's do the fuck it up roll with your foot laser cannons.
Yep. All right. All right. So plus agility. All right.
agility.
Here we go. Please, God, I've never asked you for anything except for Martha to come back.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
That's 11 plus 2 agility. That's gonna be a 13, baby. Woo!
So Tony, like, as he begins to repair, he looks over at you and he's like, "Oh fuck!" Blast, 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 blast. And like huge chunks of Tony go flying off into the ether. He stumbles back, and you're able to like the force of the blast manages to like unhook yourself from
Awesome.
the Hellraiser chains.
Awesome.
Tony stumbles back, bleeding, gushing blood. And Squidward, you've been freed up. The child lays before you, no longer a threat. Greg's armor is destroyed. Charles Mothers is a little tied up, pulling himself out of the Hellraiser chains. But Tony, there's a moment to strike. What does Squidward do?
I slowly walking towards him, and I say, "Oh, so the world wasn't good enough for you, so you thought you'd destroy it. Well, tough news. Life is horrible. It's embarrassing and disgusting and annoying and disappointing. And you know what? We all deal with it. And you can deal with it too, you big crybaby." This is my condescending neighbor role.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be very condescending.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, look at you. Oh, I'm just going to destroy the world because I got sad one time. We've all thought about doing it, but you just go to work the next day and die a little bit more inside, like a regular person.
What does condescending neighbor do?
I roll plus willpower. On a 10 plus, I choose 2. On a 7 to 9, I choose 1.
Great.
Of these options, that's going to be a 10 plus.
Oh, baby.
So the first thing I do is they answer the next thing I ask truthfully, and I ask him, "What do I have to do to kill you?"
He thinks about it for a moment. And he just looks up at you, and it's just like, "Go for the head!"
And then I put 2 suction cups on the side of his head, and I say, "Then perish."
I'll see you in...
Yeah!
I rip his head off.
Yeah, there's just a way. I'll see... Tony's head is just like looking at you like,
Well, to you too. You guys are the best friends I've ever had.
You guys have taught me the real value of friendship today.
Your
I
suits...
feel like
Oh, sorry.
the bases are loaded in my heart. You're on first. You're on second. I'm on third. Nobody stands at home because if you're at home, you've completed the run, so you'd no longer stay on the base.
You could have ended that with let's
Squidward,
go. Let's
We
go
got
home.
it.
Yeah,
Lay
it's
us off.
the automated the speakers in your suit, or your 2 suits are just TABLEPOPALYPSE averted. And the lake, the infinity lake that you stand in, slowly begins to crumble away. As it does, like into the nothingness, exposing itself kind of to the larger void, or like sort of assimilating itself to the void. These 3 white doors, appear in front of you, each sort of calling to you, like you immediately and inherently know that these doors go home, back to your universes. Greg, what do you do?
All right, guys, I have to go. This was fun, though.
This was great. Would you want to, if you ever want to learn how to make gin or farm cockroaches or hit on women who are 20 years younger than you come seek me out.
Do you have like Instagram?
Sure.
Yeah, add me on Instagram. I'm
Okay.
Greg, the swamp thing.
I'm Charles motherfucking Mothers.
Yeah, yeah, that does make sense. Squidward, are you on Instagram?
I'll make an account.
It's good enough for me.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
bye.
sure we have that. Yeah.
Bye.
It's
What,
called what's Finstagram.
Finstagram.
Nice.
What's our final shot of Greg? Like, how do we? It's the
How's the timeline doing?
it's all sort of like, I don't know. Is it reversing, or does everyone have to deal with the fallout of a demon incursion?
I like go back to my fucking destroyed school, and all of my schoolmates are fucking dead as shit, and they're all ripped up, and there's blood and viscera all over the ground, and I just smile and start I reach into my back pocket and pull out a finished pop quiz and lay it on the desk.
Oh my god.
And then I check the clock, and it hits 3:15, and the bell rings, and I go and get on the bus.
Bus driver's fine.
The bus driver's fine, of course. Like, wow, weird day. And the bus.
Yeah. I guess you could say it was a pretty weird day.
The bus pulls off into the sunset. Squidward, what do you do? They're looking at your door.
I put a tentacle hand on Charles Mother's shoulder, and I say, "I'll never forget you, Mr. Mothers.
I'll never forget you.
You've taught me so much. You showed me the power I always had inside me. And you listened to my music without running away. I love you."
I love you too, Squidward. Now go become king of the ocean.
I shall. And I begin like confidently strutting back through the portal into my world. And I believe, again, we get a few moments later. And I think the demon rules are a little different in a cartoon world.
Sure.
SpongeBob and Patrick have, I think, both exploded and been murdered multiple times. So I think
Right.
I think they're just back. They're just back to normal. Like,
Yeah.
wow, that was crazy. They're just in there. They're just in there annoying me, and I'm just like, all of that confidence has been deflated out of me. It's as if none of it ever happened, and I just slowly pick up my shell phone and go, "Mr. Krabs, can I have my job back?" Yeah, I'll take reduced wages.
But then you get on your cell phone, maybe you see Greg the Swamp Thing has invited you to join Finstagram.
And a single tear rolls down my face.
Oh my god.
So we find ourselves back on the crumbling lake, which is dissipating into the void. Charles Mothers, you stand before this great white door, leads back to your home. And you think back to kind of the start of this crazy mission you just went on, which probably ranks in like the top 10 craziest things Charles Mothers has done.
Sure. Yes.
And you think back to being in your cell underground and your son, President Phil Halibut, like whispering something to you. And you recall that as he says, "Mom's still out there somewhere in the void." You look to the door and you see the void all around you. What do?
I pick up Tony's head. Did it dissipate?
No.
Okay. I pick up Tony's head. I tie it to my belt. I take one of the Hellraiser chains. I make it into a belt. I tie Tony's head to my belt. And then
I look out into the void. I look down at the picture of Martha and say, "Martha, I'm coming to find you."
Boom. That was TABLEPOPALYPSE, everybody. Guys, this was so much fun. Nathan, thank you so much. You were our first guest on this show. You did the first 5 while we figured this out.
And I'm so glad I got to be there right at the beginning before it keeps getting better. I'm gonna go back and watch all the other ones.
We don't know when we're gonna get to do another batch of these again. Hopefully at some point. But just this show has been so much fun and really a dream come true that I could just sit around and play very silly games with my friends. Thank you so much, my co-conspirators, Eli and Carolyn, who is the absolute champ of wearing the worst costume.
My neck is so itchy. Can you be allergic to fake plants? Find out on TablePop.
Carolyn, you just and I could throw anything at Carolyn. She's like, I got it. I got it. Like I can escalate this in a way. Sometimes to the point I have no idea what to do.
I'm on a watch list.
Thank you, especially like Tony Wilson, whose idea this kind of was. He just slacked me one day and was like, "Do you want to like do a bunch of this?" Yes. Cassie Lavo, Adam Gold, who like wrangled guests and done all these costumes. Unbelievable work. Has made the show as cool looking as it is. Trevor, who is the unsung hero of making this show look good.
A true magician. He's like a whiz. It's
absolutely,
amazing.
it's unbelievable. It's the amount of work people have put into this thing is unreal. I hope we get to do more again at some point. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope we get to see you again sometime.
Bye.
Hey everyone, thank you again for checking out TablePop this whole time. Remember, the best way to support Dorkly is to check out dropout.tv.
Plus, see all your favorite Dorkly shows a week early.
You sure can. And plenty of other great exclusives, like Paranoia or Dimension 20.
So start your week free trial.